And that's how the theme song goes. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Constitutionals podcast. I am your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website, www.cpluscomedy.com. It's a website. Go there. Look at that. I did the first perfect introduction to this, whatever this is, in the longest amount of time that this has existed. Okay? That's interesting. It's great. It's been 25 weeks, as my files have indicated. And yes, I do keep files on here. Some, I label them and I put them in a bin, in a drawer, in one of those filing cabinets under X, so that they're X files. It's a very long way for a very dumb joke that did not play as well as I thought it was going to play. I don't know. I thought maybe you laughed at it. Who knows? Let's get started. Let's move on to this. I just got Mass Effect Andromeda in the mail. It went on sale last week for like $14, and I'm excited to play it. Xbox One is sitting on, waiting to start the game. It's been downloaded for days. I haven't had a chance to play it. It's Monday night. I want to get in this thing. I'm ready to see the buggy graphics and the weird facial animations that they might have fixed. I don't know, but I'm still interested because it's Mass Effect. And I'm so ready to get lost. And after that, I'll probably go to sleep. To be completely honest, I'll play for an hour. I'll go to sleep. Hey, speaking of which, last night I fell asleep during the Curb Your Enthusiasm return, season 9. It was all right. I felt everything was a little bit over exaggerated. I felt Larry was too self-aware, and good Lord, Chad, you mute the freaking computer. I almost cursed out loud on this show that's supposed to be clean. Anyway, I fell asleep during the show last night. I thought it felt too over exaggerated. It felt when Larry was saying his catchphrase, pretty good. He said it at least 3 different times, and he said it so loud and with such a huge nod towards the camera. I felt as if he was just gonna by the 4th time he said the 4th pretty, I thought he was gonna turn to us and go, "I'm doing it. I'm doing the thing." And he kind of knows he's a character. He knows he's this big shot. He's one of the biggest comedy icons in the world right now on television, and which is great. That's fine for him and everything, but the original set of 8 seasons of Curb, I would even say, well, no, I'd say the last season is pretty less self-aware than what it is now. The show got too popular, and now he's trying to. I'm not saying he's going to try to please everybody, but that's what it feels like. And that's the same reason why I don't watch Rick and Morty, because I watched the first season, and then people get way too into things, and they take it to a whole different level, and I just don't want to be part of that crowd. That sounds like a real thing. Anyway, I'm going to move on. I'm going to jump up. I rented, for the first time in months, a couple Redbox things. I rented Doom, the video game. I played that for exactly an hour and a half. No, I think I played for like 40 some odd minutes. Again, I got a free Redbox game rental, and I said I got to use it and I got to play Doom. I thought it was okay. I'm not gonna. It's coming out on Nintendo Switch in a couple of months, in December, I believe, and I don't think I'm gonna invest in that. But I played on the Xbox. It was all right. It's really fast, and it's hard. I guess I'm not good at shooters. It was really difficult for me to move around, and I'm just tired of shooting. I'm tired of killing things. I'm tired of video games that just all you do is run around and kill things. And that's kind of why I'm really interested in the Switch, because when I'm playing Legend of Zelda, which I haven't played in probably a week or two, when I'm Link running around, Breath of the Wild, I'm just running around being an idiot, using magic powers and fighting bokoblins, but at least the fighting's fun. Or when I play Mario Kart Deluxe, just slip sliding through 200cc and just playing as Tanuki Mario or Cat Peach. Don't know why I chose those 2 characters. Or Daisy. I really got into Baby Daisy. And Baby Rosalina. Yeah, Rosalina is a character I made for a script I'm writing. Anyway, let's move on to Captain Underpants. You guys don't want to hear me talk about the stuff you want to hear me talk about. I rented Captain Underpants 2. I also rented The Big Sick. Saw it. Fantastic. Wonderful. Not going to talk about it because I talked about it way too much here. But Go listen to those early episodes. I talked about it like at least in the first 6 episodes straight. But I was really interested in the Captain Underpants movie because when I was younger, of course, like any prepubescent child, and I was going to say any post-pubescent child, because I'm very interested in those books. I read the books. I read all the way up to, let's see what we got. There's The Adventures of Captain Underpants, which came out in 97. 99's Attack of the Talking Toilets. And then 99, same year, Jesus. Dave Pilkey was working. Invasion of the Incredibly Naughty Cafeteria Ladies from Outer Space and the subsequent assault of the equally evil lunchroom zombie nerds. The Perilous Plot of Professor Poopy Pants, who was also in the first movie. Wrath of the Wicked Wedgie Woman in 2001. The Big Bad Battle of the Bionic Booger Boy Part 1, the Night of the Nasty Nostril Nuggets, Big Bad Battle of the Bionic Booger Boy Part 2, The Revenge of the Ridiculous Robo Burgers, A Preposterous Plight of Purple Potty People. I don't think I read that one. Oh, I did? Yeah. No, that's the one. Okay, so I think I stopped after 2003 because I was in the 7th grade and it was just getting too much. Yeah, I definitely have that last one. But then then they have 5 other books in that series. It ended in 2015, but the movie was wonderful. DreamWorks did a fantastic job. Or no, 20th Century Fox. Boy, am I no, it was DreamWorks. I'm not dumb. Okay. DreamWorks, but 20th Century Fox distributed. The production company was DreamWorks. DreamWorks Animation did a really fantastic job, and it felt like the books. It looked like an update of the books. The movie's CGI looked. Is that CGI? Is that what I'm talking about? Yeah, or is it just computer generated? No, okay. I gotta get this crap together. The movie's CGI looked really wonderful, really fantastic. It was reminiscent of the Peanuts movie that came out, I think, a year and a half ago, or maybe 2 years ago. I really enjoyed it. It was good. I do think. The story did not kick in until the last act of the movie, where the last 2 acts of the movie, wherein Professor Poopy Pants, voiced by Nick Kroll, was actually putting his plan into high gear. But it was so hilarious from the onset. He was, of course, the villain. It was so wonderful. He says something along the lines of, I can't wait to be hired here for villainy, to work at the school. Anyway. It's an origin story, so if you're sick of origin stories like I am, then buckle up, because this is definitely an origin story. But the reason why I say it was miscast is because Kevin Hart was a child, Thomas Middleditch was the other child, and those voices don't fit on small children, 10, 12-year-old children like that. Ed Helms was Captain Underpants / Mr. Krupp, the very mean principal, and his Captain Underpants was delightful. His Mr. Krupp, he can't really do an angry voice, and he put a little bit more gravel to it. But I guess he was fine. I'm still gonna say Kevin and Thomas were miscast. They should have put children in those roles. I really do, and I understand they want to sell tickets. They want to be able to market this movie to adults and kids. But I really believe that, like the Peanuts movie, which I saw alone as an adult man. Very alone, close to Thanksgiving. I think it was close to Thanksgiving. I enjoyed the Peanuts movie because it was all these children I didn't know, and if they make another one, then it's probably going to be a new set of children because those kids are going to grow up. But what they should have done was they should have casted 2 kids. And maybe 2 famous kids, maybe 2 of those Stranger Things boys, or I don't know, kids from other shows or whatever. But that's what they should have done, because there's a point, if you follow voice acting. For me, if you follow voice acting, I follow voice acting very closely, and I know a lot of voice actors. Like John DiMaggio, whenever I hear his voice doing Bender, I can only picture this giant. After seeing him on a documentary that he produced called I Know That Voice, after seeing him do interviews, after seeing him do live action shows, I think he did an episode of Girls. I don't believe that's true. I think I might be wrong. I think he was on an episode of The Night. It was something dramatic. And after seeing him do something, like after seeing him all these years and then hearing his voice, I can only imagine, or any variation of his voice, I can only imagine just this just giant white man doing the voices. Same thing with Kevin Michael Richardson, who's now basically a part of The Simpsons. He was on The Simpsons last night, which is amazing. I think it was a good episode. And I can only, H. John Benjamin, Katie Seagal, I can only imagine the people. Yeah, let's see, Kate Micucci, for some reason. I don't know why I can imagine her. Kristen Shaw, so I can only see these people. I can only see them. Phil Lamar, especially, because he for a time, he was in everything. Nolan North, because I met him in real life, so I can only see his face and his beautiful hand that shook mine. So I do think this show, the movie, was miscast. The show, I'm thinking, I saw Jordan Peele's name on the Wikipedia for Captain Underpants movie, and I started thinking about, he's on Nick Kroll's show Big Mouth on Netflix, and which is a good show. I really enjoyed it. It has Family Guy-esque animation. It's also co-created by Nick Kroll and Andrew Goldberg, a writer for Family Guy, so that stands to reason. That's why they do that. But the Captain Underpants movie, really solid movie. I really hope they make more soon. And of course, it's very fun, and I really enjoyed it. So go give it a watch if you want. I don't know, and it really holds up to the books. Also, I lost my wallet this weekend. I got it back the next day. My cards are gone. I canceled them. Also, I'm very poor, so I don't know who they're gonna try to buy something extravagant. They're like, sir, you're overdrafted $1,000. You can't buy a thing. Sir, you're very broke. I stole this card. Well, that guy's got nothing. His credit score is 0? How do you have a 0 credit score? But I lost it when I went to see The King and I at the Fox Theater. I lost it after, and I was at a different place. I lost it like right next to the Fox Theater though, and the King and I was great. Got $6 for tickets. $6 each, and I sat like 12 rows from the front. See, that it was so great. We sat orchestra left, which means we were behind the orchestra to the left. Of course. And we could only see diagonally to the stage, diagonally to the diagonal right. So anytime anybody got in the back left corner of the stage, it was a no-go. But that only happened, I noticeably, 3 or 4 times. Anyway, it was great. I'd never seen that story before. Rodgers and Hammerstein's play come to life. And I just couldn't get words out. That's how beautiful it was. It was great. Very funny. The people that were in it were good. They were fantastic. I would read their name. My computer's warming up right now. I would read their names out, but the booklet is too far away. No, it's in this drawer. Is it? No, wait. It's over here. I got it. Okay. King and I, directed by Bartlett Sher. This was, you can hear that I have this book. It's all wrinkled and stuff because it's Kelly Youngman is, welcome Kelly Youngman to the company. She just joined. I don't know why I read her name because she doesn't matter in the terms of the people. But let me find, if I can find the names of the people who led the cast. Oh, there's going to be Wicked here someday? Okay, so the cast is Laura Michelle Kelly, did a wonderful job. Jose Lana, yeah, he also did a wonderful job. Joan Almedilla, great job. Brian Rivera, fantastic. Like all these people were so good, and I'm so glad I got to see it. I'm so glad it didn't cost me an arm and a leg. I also looked at tickets for Hamilton. That thing cost more than what I owe the rest of my car. But it was a really good time. If you ever have a chance to see a play, take a chance and buy some tickets. It doesn't matter. It's fun. Any play is great. And that was a musical, and they had a lot of songs I didn't know, so it felt good to do it. I'm not going to listen to those songs because there are better musicals out there, but a lot of good. I enjoyed it a lot. I lost it. Like I said, lost my wallet. Thank God a lady working for the AT&T building next door said she found it. I retrieved, they took the cash, which was about $8. I am very poor and broke, not poor. And they took the cards. And they took my GameStop Power Up Rewards card. And like, guys, it's not going to work. I don't record anything. But yeah, so there you go. Also, last week, I went to my third concert. Guys, it was great. I saw Father John Misty. He was wonderful. Oh my gosh. We was at the Tabernacle. He had this big white screen behind him, and if you can imagine, in the top right corner of that screen was a different circular screen that was separate from there, and it was slightly in front. So whenever his song, I've been saying this for the longest time this past week, but whenever one of his songs would involve him going out to outer space, they showed like the Mars landscape in the background, and then they made here's a better example. They showed Earth on the big white rectangular screen, and then they showed the moon on the screen that was the circular screen that was slightly in front of it, or it would be color coded. So the big rectangular screen in the back would be pink, and then the circular screen would have a heart on it, and we're just talking about love. Anyway, I think that was good. It was a really good show. There was, at the end, when he came back out for his encore, everybody started moving forward. I was already, since I'm by myself, I can go anywhere. I was already up front. I was maybe 30 yards. I was less than that. It had to be like 20 yards, 15 yards away from Father John himself. And let me tell you, that boy can dance. He's dancing I likened him to a wet noodle, just swaying in the wind. But everybody moved up. All these people, I was already in the standing area. People already moved up. And then this short little woman, who's a little portly, came up to me, and she didn't come up to me, but she came up next to me. We're already packed tight. We're tighter than sardines or something like that. A small fish, a small salty fish that people sometimes put on. Those are anchovies. Anyway, we're packed together tightly, and she started swing. You cannot dance to Father John Misty's music right now. I'm just going to tell you right now. And she started thrusting her body right next to me, and every time she would hit me, and then she would turn and look at me and like, I'm dancing, don't you dare stop me. And then I would try. I couldn't cross my arms. I couldn't scratch my leg. I couldn't do anything. I had to stand in a straight plank, like standing up position. It was great. It was wonderful. I had to leave in the middle of that encore. I said, I can't deal with her right now. I said, I might as well just get my walk going. I parked about 3 blocks away. I don't want to deal with her. And then also, this is I know this is going very long, but there's just looked at the timer, 17 minutes. But last night, like I said before, was a premiere of the Simpsons 29th season. God bless America. 29 years. 29. I love this show so much, and it's had its ups and downs, and there's a lot of not good episodes, but I still watch them constantly because The Simpsons is just something I just enjoy. I love so much. I love dearly to my heart. Also knew Bob's Burgers, Last Man on Earth, and the premiere of Ghosted, but we're going to talk about Bob's Burgers and Simpsons. Both of them had dramatically different openings compared to their shows past. The Simpsons had a take on... You can really hear my laptop in the background, and I'm trying not to. The Simpsons had a take on... Why is it doing this right now? The fans just word down. The Simpsons did a take on Game of Thrones, kind of, and they had a lot of, Lord of the Rings, a lot of fantasy, Dungeons and Dragons, a lot of those types of references and jokes and stuff. And it was great. Dennis Perkins of the AV Club, giving you a shout out, gave it a B-. I thought it was a solid episode. I really enjoyed it. It was an episode that started out and ended in a fantasy world. It didn't have to bookend it like they usually did early on in the series, which they still do now these seasons. But it was a really good episode. I enjoyed The Simpsons and Family Guy and Bob's Burgers and American Dad. Maybe Archer. Yeah, definitely Archer too, because it started out the last 3 seasons in different areas of the world, or eras of time. But these shows, since they're animated and since they're not really serial based, they can stand to just open up and have an episode that takes place in no particular timeline, and just without having to bookend it with story beats that the Griffins are trapped in their attic because somebody's downstairs, and now they're telling story. Now Peter's telling stories about the different versions of history that the Griffins are involved in, or the Simpsons or Marge and Homer tell how Lisa got her sex. I don't think that these shows have existed for some time now, and they're cartoons, and they don't have to establish all of this stuff up front. So they can just have episodes that just take place and in different planes of space, and not really have to worry about anything. So The Simpsons had an episode about Game of Thrones, and Bob's Burgers had an episode that was drawn by the fans. And so I would say, I'd sniffed right on the mic. Guys, I had a cold this past week. I don't get sick, knock on wood, but I do get colds, and it's really pissed me off. But Bob's Burgers had an episode that was announced last year, completely drawn by the fans, and every few minutes or so, they just changed different art styles. They went anime, claymation, well, not claymation, animes, paper, construction paper. I wish I knew more art styles than regular animation and anime. I guess, I don't know, Flash maybe, some other stuff, yarn. It was really good. I enjoyed it. No, there was a claymation spot in there. It was really good. I really enjoyed it, and it was a wonderful episode. I think the AV Club, whoever reviewed on AV Club, gave it a B. So anyway, I enjoyed it. It was very fun episode. So I mean, I remember there's an episode of American Dad that took place. It was kind of like James Bond, and it just started. And anyway, the Simpsons and Bob, these shows should be able to do that more. They should have confidence in themselves to do that more. But anyway, I'm moving on to the final topic, which is SNL's back, and I'm glad. What really surprised me this past week to learn was that Chris Kelly and Sarah Schneider left the show as head writers of SNL. They were there for 2 or 3 years, and as the head writers, and I think maybe 2 years as head writers, and I think they were there 2 years before as just regular writers. But Sarah is from College Humor. She's from College Humor, and Streeter Seidel works at SNL too. He was also on College Humor. Pat Castles works at Full Frontal. Just gonna go through all of the old College Humor people who are now what they're doing. Pat Castles works at Full Frontal with Samantha Bee. I think Jeff Rubin. Oh, I don't know what Jeff Rubin's doing. I know he's doing something big. Let's see. Jake and Amir, of course, are doing they're running their own podcast company. So God, everybody from College Humor has grown up and gone, and I love them so much, and they're all great people, and I just really enjoy them. So Jeff Rubin is, let's see, he's not writing. I guess he's just doing his podcast. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, he's just doing his podcast. Man, God, I miss those people. It was a great time just seeing them do their thing. Anyway, but Chris Kelly and Sarah Schneider are gone. They're working on a pilot for Comedy Central. It'll probably get picked up since they left and they have that much interest in that show. Good for them. I'm very happy for them. I think they also have another show in development, but who knows? Who knows? The internet. Me, because I wrote about it at some point. And SNL also picked up 3 new featured players, which is great. But they did not promote anybody else from the last featured cast to full-time. So that's still kind of not troublesome, but not worrying, but a little bit frustrating. The new players are Heidi Gardner, who is of UCB fame. Lucas Knoll, I think that's his name is. Luke Knoll? Yeah, Luke Knoll. He was not in Saturday's show, but Chris Redd was. Chris Redd, who you would know from... Pop Star Never Stop Never Stopping. God, I love that movie. He was so great as the friend turned enemy. But anyway, Chris Redd and Heidi Gardner did wonderful for their first. Imagine to be doing your thing at UCB, just telling jokes and doing whatever improv skit you're doing, and then like 4 weeks ago. I assume this is how it happened because this is usually how the SNL recruiting process works. And then, and then someone saying, "Oh, there were producers from SNL here, and now they want to talk to you, Heidi or Chris or Luke." And then you say, "Okay, great." They say, "Hey, come in for." Not an interview, an audition. Then you audition, and then the week following, say, "Okay, you got it." And then, or no. To what usually happens is Lauren. This is what I learned from all the Nerdist and WTF podcast appearances people make. Is this? So this probably happened about 2 weeks ago. They brought them in, and Lauren had a meeting with one of them, like Chris. He sits down. He says, "Yeah, well, you got a lot to learn." This is my Lauren. I've never worked with him, never met the man. Yeah, you got a lot to learn, and living in living in New York is a lot different from living in Chicago. And he doesn't tell you you're hired right away. He just says these things that sound like you're hired, and then he says, "Okay, all right, nice to see you." Then you leave his office, and then people are congratulating you, and you say, "I think I got hired." And then they say, "Okay, you got to be out here in 2 days," and so you got to go back home, pack up all the crap you can, and then fly back immediately, and then you get to work. And so I know they were hired at least 2 weeks ago, because I remember that's when the story came out. So that's great. I'm very happy for them. I'm very happy for anybody that gets hired to SNL. Yeah, of course, one day I would love to work for them. So Lauren, if you want to come down, if anybody wants to come to Atlanta and say, "That guy would be great in our mailroom," then I'll go right to New York. I'll do it. Oh gosh. So anyway, but then last year's featured players, Vanessa. Melissa Villaseñor, she grew on me. I have to say, I'm not a friend. I'm not a fan of impressionists, but she's a wonderful person. She's a wonderful talent, and so she's doing well. She's doing well. as if I talk to her on a daily basis. She's a good kid. She's doing well. Let's see, Melissa Villaseñor, Alex Moffat, and Mikey Day. They all are still featured players. They didn't promote anybody, so now they have, I think, a main cast of 7 or 8, and then they have 6 featured players, something like that. I didn't really count when I was watching the theme song. And that's something about me. I watch the theme song every single week. I do. I love it. It makes me feel like I'm the show. But here's the thing: I record it the night it happens, and I watch it Sunday morning. So I still want to feel. I want the live feeling, but I don't want to watch it live because it's 11:30 at night, and I'm not working for them yet. So there we go. So, but yeah, I think it was great. I think it was wonderful. Mikey Day is definitely one of the best requisitions that show has ever picked up. It's like within the past, few years, I would probably say 80. She really, Kate. Yeah, everybody loves Kate. Blah blah blah. But 80 and Leslie are two of the biggest talents that they could have gotten in the past decade. I really like Cecily too, but 80 and Leslie, because those are two people that can definitely carry their own outside of SNL, and that's kind of what you're doing. You're nurturing, you're fostering these people. I was gonna say kids, but Leslie's like 70 years old, and not knocking her. I love Leslie. And then you also have. Oh my God, who else? Michael Che. He left The Daily Show like 6 months in because he got that audition, and I remember that. God, that was so great because I was so happy for him because I love Michael Che. He's a sensational act, and I've been following him for a few years now, and it's wonderful to see someone you love continue to rise upward and everything. But I would say you want to get somebody who, like Kyle Bennett. Jesus Christ, Beck Bennett and Kyle Mooney. You want to get those, and they got all the Good Neighbor crews. So you want to get somebody who's just as weird, who can create all of these out there things. I would not doubt that they had something to do with Ryan Gosling's papyrus thing. What's it called? The Avatar papyrus font skit. That was great. That was so wonderful. This is perfect for them. But I think Mikey Day, if anybody's, Mikey Day, if you've been watching Nick Cannon's Wildin' Out for the past 15 years, Mikey Day as one of the Red Squad or the Black Squad. Or the Platinum Squad. Is that what they called themselves at one point? Nick Cannon's squad was Platinum Squad, but he's definitely one of the most talented performers up there, and I'm saying that confidently. He's so good. He is so good. He can play a straight man. He can really deliver jokes. And it is just I'm glad he got it now, but it's still a shame that he wasn't noticed sooner, because he has been doing this for years. He was always a standout when it came to Nick Cannon's Wildin' Out. And I'm just so happy that he's doing it. And he's such a funny guy. He's such a funny act. But anyway, so that's all. That's the SNL report, and that's what I wanted to say about that. I gotta move on. It's been 30 minutes. I've been talking about whatever for the past whatever. So, let's get back to the favorite comedians of all time. By one of my favorites, I'm gonna talk about something very serious, and it sucks that I have to get this serious. But one of my favorite people of all time, Robin Williams. He's definitely been a pervasive light in pretty much everybody's life when you're a small child and you watch Aladdin, and then you watch Dead Poet Society and Good Will Hunting and all of these other just great movies that he was a part of. And he was in World's Greatest Dad I think that's what it's called. Let's double check and see what this movie's called. He's definitely he was one of the funniest people to ever walk the end of the earth. He can do I saw him do stand up, not live, of course, because why would he? Not live. I didn't see him do live, but watching him do stand up, it was wonderful. I'd never seen him get so blue and so dirty before. It's like seeing Bob Saget do stand up for the first time. You go, whoa, that guy can say the bad words and stuff. But I think Robin's definitely one of the he can turn crap into gold. He made Happy Feet 2 enjoyable to watch. Of course, I jumped to the children's cartoon. Oh my gosh. He made the last two Night of the Museum movies great. And I really enjoy those movies. So I don't know why I'm knocking on those. RV. I'm naming all the worst movies. Anyway, he's great. He's great in a lot of movies and everything. But I remember, God, it's going to be so stupid and dark. I remember finding out when he passed, because I was still in school, so I was still in Chattanooga, and I had just got a job serving at a restaurant that had just renovated, and one of the corporate people came up, and we was standing. There's a bunch of why am I laughing? Because I'm uncomfortable. We were a bunch of servers just standing around, and then I remember one of the corporate people came up to us, and he goes, "Man, did you guys hear about Robin Williams?" And they made us turn our phones off for some ungodly reason. And I remember it was nighttime. And they said, "Did you hear about Robin Williams?" And I said, "No, what happened?" They said, "Oh yeah, he killed himself." And I said, and I remember it was as if you had a weird uncle that told jokes at Christmas all the time, and he passed, and he passed, and it's a feeling that you've someone's been around your entire life. And then my heart just sank. And I remember this very vividly. I remember walking from the middle of the restaurant to the back of the restaurant and sitting down and just getting out my phone and just reading about it. It was the worst feeling in the world. And I just did not enjoy it. Hearing that he had passed was, you never know that someone is this influential in your life until the day that they're gone. And it's just a shame. Just a shame that he had to go out that way. And I just really love him. And I love watching him in pretty much anything. It doesn't matter, good or bad, objectively or subjectively, whatever. It just seeing him do his job is just fantastic. And I love it. I love him. And he'll never know, of course, until I die and go to heaven. And I say, "Robin, guess who's here, buddy?" So there you go. I'm glad I could inject that sad story into your life, everybody. So if you want to hear some more not sad stories, you can head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where we got the latest news, reviews, features, interviews, and other good comedy bits that only I can provide you with. You can also, guess what? Follow us on what? Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter, at cpluscomedy. Follow me on Twitter, at JadBlackWhite. You can like us on Facebook. Continue listening to this podcast. I'm repurposing the ending from News Time. You can also head to youtube.com/cpluscomedy /cpluscomedy, Shane. youtube.com/cpluscomedy. You can get a whole bunch of videos about the show called News Time, which is a wonderful, wonderful show. I watch episodes of it all the time to get those view counts up. I watch it all the time. You should definitely watch it. It's a great show. It's me talking about news, about the news of the week, news that you didn't know about. And it's basically long form stories that I really enjoy writing. And no, I hate writing them, but I enjoy performing them. I enjoy performing. I hate writing them. I hate editing them, and I hate uploading them. I have to think of titles. So watch it. This week's episode is about, boy, I do not remember. It's been so long with these things. This week's episode is about, women and minority first-time directors in television. The DGA did a study, found out that the numbers are increasing thanks to their initiative, what they're doing. So you should just watch it because I don't want to spoil it all. But anyway, numbers are good. So yeah, there we go. Okay, all right. This is a long time. I'm going to go play Mass Effect Andromeda. Wish me luck. I'm going to make Taylor Swift Shepard. Nope. Shepard's dead. Or my Shepard's dead. Anyway, thank you. Bye.